Andy, we bow of the FA Trophy to Radcliffe. What are your thoughts on this afternoon's game?
Ultimately, very, very disappointing. Nowhere near good enough. A lot of players have, either knock on my door or you hear, them talking about obviously wanting to be in the team, etc. But it just shows that majority there tonight are nowhere near it. I wouldn't say nowhere near good enough, but on that evidence, they're miles away from it. We can't accept performances like that. Regardless of the conditions, the same for both teams. They dealt with it a lot better. We looked naive. We're relatively young, but if they want to play in the National League, they've got to be stand up and counted. And just ultimately very, very disappointed.
I mean, we mentioned in the first half there were a few players that did play well. Obviously, Matty Warburton setting up Kean Riley. And do you think there was a moment or something that happened that just changed the momentum for the away side, or?
No, not at all. In terms of, I think the first half, because obviously the wind today, obviously goal kicks, I thought we could have played out a little bit more, but I think the confidence of players sort of back at that back end, aren't great at the minute. So that I think the goals come from he's kicked it long. Obviously, he's spun back in the wind. We haven't landed on a second ball, and I think it's pot shot from nothing really. The way it's gone in, obviously the wind's took that one. Obviously the goal at the end is. I think he's very, very short of confidence, unfortunately. I think in his sleep he'd save that. Unfortunately, it's just gone through his hands. He's in one of those moments at the minute, and it's got in. I don't think there was a change in shift in momentum or anything. I just don't think we were good enough. We didn't play to the conditions. We didn't do the right things. Again, we're playing into tight areas where passes they get caught at times, didn't move the ball quickly enough. That movement if it weren't good enough. Ultimately, they played the conditions a lot better than what we did, and thoroughly deserved to win.
Yeah, and you mentioned the conditions. As you said, both teams have got to play with this, and I mean it's not really one of them where you can plan to play in a game like this with the wind doing what it's doing. Is there something that you can try to prep for it next time?
No, not at all. I just didn't think we played well enough. Forget about the conditions. We didn't play well enough. We didn't deserve to win the game. The disappointing thing is at half time we're saying to get shots off, and then we're turning shots down. We're playing backwards. We're playing square too often. There was no urgency at all. And then things like that happen. Especially when you're low on confidence, things like that happen at the end. And we didn't show any sort of desire to go and win a game of football today. I think that's the most hurtful thing for me watching it. The desire weren't there to run around enough. The desire weren't there to win tackles enough. The desire weren't there enough to go and score goals. Ultimately, to take shots, to be brave and take shots, to be brave to get on the ball when the wind's swirling around. You want to get in the air because it's going to come straight back on you to play. Obviously, I said about obviously lack of confidence, but you've got to be brave in those moments.
And finally, we've got Aldershot now coming next Tuesday. Is it important to try and turn this home form around and try and get something on the board next?
Absolutely, we're all in tomorrow. And we're everything has got to be geared up to a massive week now. We've got two big games, and it starts on Tuesday. We have to win a game of football. We have to play a million times better than that to get anything from the game. So we'll be doing everything we can now to try and win a game of football, and that comes on Tuesday.
Andy, thank you for your time.
Cheers.